Hi, my name's Liz. I hate filming intros, but here we are. I wanted to make a video about my experience with being on the hormonal birth control pill for 10 years and my experience getting off of it, mainly focusing on why I got off of it and what happened when I did get off of it. I watched a ton of YouTube videos as I was thinking of getting off of it. It was helpful and comforting to watch people's experiences, so I wanted to make one of my own and share my personal experience. So let's jump into it. So I first got on the birth control pill when I was 24 years old. I had just gotten into a stable, serious relationship and didn't want to get pregnant. I went into it with very little knowledge. I didn't know much about the hormones in it. I just know that I hadn't heard a ton of horror stories about people being on it. Essentially overnight went from using other forms of contraceptive to being on a 10-year journey with the birth control pill. Before I got on the pill, I didn't have terrible periods, which I feel very lucky about because I know many people who really struggle with their periods. My flow was normal, all of that. So through the majority of taking the pill, it stayed regular. The first day or so was a little heavy and then it would taper off. It lasted, 4 to 6 days on average, I would say. And the PMS was tolerable. Like, I definitely would get irritable the day before, but overall the period itself, before, during, and after, just kind of your standard run-of-the-mill ant flow sort of visit. Nothing crazy. One major benefit for me of being on the pill was the consistency. I started my period like clockwork. I knew what day and essentially what hour to window I was going to start. It was really nice to feel prepared. One thing I really hated was the act of taking it every day. And while it did kind of become second nature, there were many times I forgot to take it. If I was traveling or, stressed about life and just forgot, maybe I didn't order the next pack. It happened, and it happened more than I liked. And I can't tell you how many times I would be Googling, I missed 2 inactive pills, I missed 1 active. That really was annoying to me. I didn't like, having to remember to do that every single day. Let's fast forward a little. About 6-7 years, no major side effects or fluctuations in my physical life or mental life. But then things started to slowly take a turn. I started to get what I call the funk. And the funk is a mood swing that I would experience maybe once every other week or so. And it kind of got a little more frequently towards the end, maybe once a week. But the funk was this feeling of irritability that would hit me out of nowhere. And I know mood swings. I'm a pretty even emotional person. I feel feelings. I get really happy. I get really sad. But this funk would hit me out of nowhere and I could not shake it. And then a couple hours later, it would poof. And again, I just thought, this is my emotions, whatever. But the last year and a half or so, I really started to feel like this is not me. Like, these funks I'm getting into, I got to the point where I could separate it and be like, I'm feeling the funk now. I started to do a little bit of light research and I was very confident that the funk was happening because of the pill. Was it? Stay tuned. Another thing I didn't love about the pill was my libido tanked. I enjoyed sex, but I didn't have the drive. In my kind of Googling, if you will, of why I was experiencing the funk, I heard it was very common for people to have a decreased libido, and it just kind of made sense. So probably a year before I got off of it, I started to really think, maybe it's time to get off of this. It's been 9 years. I'm pumping these hormones in my body. I'm slowly feeling some things change. I got to the point where I just thought, get this toxic shit out of me. Like, it built up that I was like thinking about getting off of it, realizing I think my body and my mind had changed a bit, and I was just like, this has got to come out. I really want to give my body a chance to reacclimate to its natural hormonal state. I got off of it. It would have been October 2022. So a little more than a year ago. That checks out. Wow, that was really hard. October 2022, done taking it. Didn't know what to expect. I was really nervous. Hearing people's experience, they're like, it was kind of all over the place. The first thing I noticed, I would say the first 3 periods were brutal, and the emotional state was worse than I felt on the period. I'm like, great, I'm gonna feel essentially crazy once a month the rest of my life. It was pretty bad. Also, the flow, she came hard. The flow was super heavy, bunged up for 10 years. After, 4 to 5 or 6 months, the PMS symptoms really decreased quite a bit. It kind of went back to the day before I would get in kind of like an emotional low state, kind of random. Like I always am in this random mindset before I start my period, but that definitely balanced out, which I am very happy about. Also, the heaviness isn't as bad. It's still fairly heavy, but my periods last 2 days. That's it. 2 days. It's been like that the whole year. Also proud of my body that it went back to being really consistent, kind of right off the bat. I wasn't sure if I would be missing periods or if it would be irregular. So go body. I was actually kind of proud of that, of like, she regular. One thing I honestly was a little curious about is if I would experience acne or weight fluctuation getting off of it. And I say curious because if I did experience weight fluctuation or acne, that was okay with me as long as I wasn't on the pill. Like I did not want the hormones anymore. That was my primary factor of getting off of it. So I was kind of prepared for things to happen. Happy to say I didn't get acne. I would get a little bit of hormonal acne around my chin when I was on the pill, especially the last couple years. It wasn't bad, but there would just be some inflammation and redness down there that I don't experience now. So if anything, go body. It regulated my skin afterwards. My weight has remained the same, but I feel like my body has changed just a bit, like just the slightest bit that only I can tell. Little pockets of my body that would, gain or lose weight first, those have shifted. They're not where I used to gain or lose weight anymore. So overall, weight has pretty much stayed the same. One last thing, this is something that's hard to explain. It's similar to the funk. I feel a bit clearer. Some people shared it like it was a fogginess that had lifted. I don't necessarily know if I feel that. I don't want to say it was like, oh, miles different or worlds different, but I feel strongly that there was enough changes to my mental and physical health that are kind of back to normal now, or getting there, that I'm really happy about. I don't know how to wrap this up. That might be a little jumpy and all over the place, but I know there's lots to cover and probably a lot I forgot. One thing I forgot to do is press record during my do I or don't I have the funk anymore segment, which I talked about for quite a while, and I'm editing right now and realized I don't have the footage, but the funk is gone. It's gone. She's gone, and we love it. I still have your typical 35-year-old mood swings, but the hit me out of nowhere, bad mood for no reason feeling, I have not felt it since I got off the pill. I am a decently gullible placebo person, so, it's possible my mind is playing tricks on me, but I don't think it's that. The random quick onset of a bad mood I would get and that I could identify, it doesn't happen anymore. We're thrilled. Also, your girl got her groove back. I don't want to say my libido is fully Storm and Norman overdrive, but I'm feeling feelings I haven't felt in a while. It's going in the right direction. I'm really happy that I had the year to let my body acclimate to its normal state. I did get a non-hormonal IUD inserted earlier this month. So far, so good. My advice to you would just be do your research and really listen to your body. I think everyone is different. And for me, it was definitely the right choice to get off of it. I wish you the best on your birth control or lack thereof journey. Thank you for watching.